Take an example. Sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhave. Literal translation: let everyone be happy, let everyone be in the state of well being, let everyone be blessed, and let none suffer from misery in this world. Why? Or Om Namah Shivaya, any mantra. These are Shanti mantras. Or if we do not contemplate and reflect on this mantra, and I gave a very simple way that first chant the mantra, then know the literal meaning, and then extract the knowledge. So, when you extract the knowledge, for example, let everyone be happy. But my mind says you are crazy, for example. Not really. So, now I compare the two. I say let everyone be happy, and at the same time, I am saying you are crazy. That does not fit here. So I contemplate and reflect, and I say, no, no, I will see that you are always happy in my thought, speech, and action. That is what the Nitya Karma is. We have been talking a lot, but I'm not going there. So when we chant the mantra, recite the mantra, that is one thing. But we should know the meaning of the mantra. Second, and then we should see, let me think it over. When I say let everyone be happy, then I have no right to make anyone crazy. Oh, so I become a social worker? No, no. Can you ever think that what is happening to my mind? That is the importance of the mantra. So when any mantra, whether it's Om Namah Shivaya, any mantra, take any mantra. I don't establish any cult dogma or uh, any other tradition. So all these mantras help us to remove the projection of the mind and allows the mind to retain the knowledge. I am not able to retain the knowledge. I cannot retain the knowledge if my mind is constantly blaming, complaining, reacting. Just see. So, in order to remove the projection and also allows the mind to retain the knowledge of the real self, any mantra can do. Any mantra. You can do any practice of any mantra. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Krishnaya Namah, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sutoma, Satyagamaya. That we miss. Thus, if one misses that, it means I'm not a seeker. We are trying to understand each and every aspect so that all the doubts are removed from our mind. So even if we keep our mind reminding our mind that I have to remove the projection, hence I have to recite the mantra mentally or otherwise, anytime, anywhere. You pick up Om Namah Shivaya, that is also good. You pick up Shanti mantra, that is also good. But our goal should be very clear. Logically, cause and effect relationship should be established. So you see that what happens every day, my attachment, my projection, my habitual thinking, my animal mind, they all undergo a change by a simple one mantra. You hold back. No, no one is crazy. No, I let everyone be happy. No, no, but he is my employee. How? Okay, mind. I will find out the way to guide that employee. And when you contemplate and reflect, then you calm down, you call that, you discuss, and ultimately you resolve it. The same thing happens in relationship, same thing happens in friendship or anywhere. That is the importance of the mantra. People ask me, which mantra is the strongest? No, you are the weakest. Every strong mantra will become weaker. It will not work that way. We normally, uh, our friend there, no, 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 you gave the mantra, Buddha mantra. Oh, you have to know why to practice, how to practice. Any mantra will do. No, no, you only gave Buddha mantra, so it means what? I'm starting a cult in the dogma, and that will not work. And that is why it is not working. uh, so we have to be understand. So whatever the mantra that we do, either the Shanti mantra, so you remember during the day, okay, let Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. You wake up in the morning and you remember. So what is going to happen? Yesterday you reacted to your member in the family, and today you are reciting the mantra. Your mind reminds you, no projection. I have to retain this knowledge. Your mind comes down. That we normally don't do it. So, like, we are doing Om Namah Shivaya. So, anytime, anywhere, you can do Om Namah Shivaya. But there is a contemplation there we have discussed in detail. So, you are not only you are doing regular practice for an hour, but also during the day when the mind is empty, Om Namaha. So, I gave the one me Namaha, Namaha. What I am, what I have, what I possess is not me. It is a false I. That is one way to look at it. Other way, I'm not the body and the mind. And then the Shiva appears. Then I have a vision of the Shiva. Think. So we have to continue this journey of the 40 steps with a clarity, with each and every step with a clarity. Now you see that during hesitation and reaction in the mind, the past impression comes, and I say Om Namah Shivaya. It may work, it may relax me, but it is not going to remove the projection if I do it with a contemplation and reflection. You said Om, okay. Om is what the pure consciousness is. and which is invisible through the senses and the mind. Nama is that I am not the body and the mind, a reminder. If I am not the body and the mind, I cannot blame you. Only if I am the body, then only I can blame you, then only I will be attached to you. Oh, yes. And Shivaya. Shivaya, mental image. I can see the mental image. Or the same Om is pure consciousness, and I'm aware of it. I'm aware. So that is one aspect that is very important in the life of a seeker. Now, see, that is why we do the Mangala Charan mantras, any form of a Mangala Charan. So the way you wake up in the morning, pick up any mantra, Satoma, you remember Asatoma Satgamaya. So I remember that any projection, blame, complaint, reaction, anxiety, duality, conflict, I am not worthy of suffering and it belongs to the false. The moment you move your mind from a non thinker to a thinker, you minimize that impact of the impurity. And that makes me a seeker. That makes me a seeker. If I am not a seeker, then I start blaming others. I have 100 reasons to blame. And all the reasons are wrong. All the reasons come from the ego. I cannot give certification to anyone that who is crazy and who is not. Yes, I can give the certification to myself. So these mantras, when we do it with a meaning, knowledge, plus contemplation and reflection, it gives a new perspective of the entire world. At present, we, because of the projection, because of the impurity, because of the I-ness, we think this entire world is a suffering. Why this entire world is a suffering? We don't think. Now, if you think, then you recognize because of it may be because of strong likes and dislikes that causes the attachment and detachment that results into delusion, that results into emotional dependence. Emotional dependence makes my ego very strong, and then there is a intellectual paralysis. I enter into a delusion that causes the suffering. Look at it. Look at the entire sequence. So, what is the remedy? Remedy is the satsang. My master used to say, even the satsang helps you to recognize and awaken to the inner peace and the calm. Just before your session, I told you she lives in Brooklyn, and she said, I was too much stressed and my mind clicked about the mantra. I started thinking, and that stress is gone. One approach. This is the right approach. What is the habitual approach? Even that approach sometimes works. Sometimes, and I would say it works at a lower level. No, I have an anxiety. Let me do no, show. So my mind is diverted from blaming someone to insight. It also helps me to relax, but it has not removed the projection because I did not understand. Because we are a seeker. So now what happens? When we do this, we experience the state of the calmness, and with projection is gone, and I feel relaxed and I understand that it is happening because of the delusion, projection, and impurity of the mind. So I have a good experience, positive experience in my life. And if I repeat it continuously, what happens? Master says, what happens? You develop a dharma intellect. Dharma is translated as religion, so here it is not religion. Dharma means that I move near to my real self. It is also translated as righteous intellect. What is righteous intellect? Oh, this I wanted to do, so I categorized under don't do it. But when don't do it by understanding, don't make anyone crazy, don't blame anyone, don't react, because all these are projections. That is what the righteous intellect, and that is what the dharma intellect. In any case, in any situation, in any relationship. So remember, the first is the righteous intellect. Just by the mantra, we have undergone a change. You are angry and upset, and you are contemplating and reflecting with the mantra, your anger is gone. Modern science takes hours together for anger management, and still anger is not managed. The root cause is gone. Root cause is the projection and ignorance. So the result is the righteous intellect. First result. I'm developing. So why the righteous intellect? Again, understand question. Why the righteous intellect? Now the mind, with its projection, with its impurity, is not dictating the intellect. Intellect is not singing the tune of that frustration, anger, upset, duality, and a conflict in the world. So we have started contemplation and reflection with the mantra. That is what the discernment, and it results into righteous. Four types of intellect we should never forget. The righteous intellect is the first, and once you follow it a couple of times, you are totally upset, you're angry and agitated, even a member of the family, and then you apply the mantra and you have a good experience. Projections are gone. First time, second time, third time. Then you know the importance of a dispassion. So the first is the righteous intellect, second is the dispassion intellect. You have applied the viveka before through the contemplation and reflection, and now you get a dispassion. What is the meaning of dispassion intellect? Are you concerned about the house of your neighbor? No. Are you concerned about the people living in that house? No. Not concern. So it is not indifference. It tells you that my mind lives in the state of neither attachment nor detachment. It is in the form of a joy. Why joy? Because there is no attachment or detachment. So there is no likes and dislikes. So there is no projection. So there is no delusion. So the intellect now has become strong enough to dissolve any projection and ignorance of the mind is what the dispassion intellect. We need that dispassion intellect so that the knowledge of the real self stays in the mind. If it doesn't stay in the mind, then it is gone. Then our journey is a waste. One guy said, I've been attending I have been doing the practice for the last 4 years. I said, no, you're not a seeker. So he got hurt. Do you think that I'm not a seeker? Then why the hell I'm doing it for 4 years? I said, that you should know. You should tell me. But why you are not a seeker? Because you are not changing and improving. I have requested you to do the practice early in the morning, and you have 100 excuses not to do it. So your intellect has not reached to that point of conviction that I have to do this. Your mind gives 100 reasons not to do it. A seeker should have some sense of self-discipline in order to reach to that state. You don't follow it. But yes, you are a seeker because you continue you have been continuing for the last 4 years. I can agree with you. But you continue to stay in the same format, same state. Your mind gets upset when you wake up in the morning. People wake up in the morning and they are relaxed and calm. They say, I'm fresh. How can you say that you are a seeker? And I have given you the practice. I told you to commit to it so that your problem, your projection will go away. But you don't do it. Think and contemplate. There's a real life example. This Wednesday. So I said, did you do the practice? No, I woke up in the morning and that I was struggling, and then I rationalized that why should I do the practice? I'm okay. And then my mind gave an excuse that let me go for a walk. And I did not go for a walk. I said, very good. And you claim that you're a seeker. And then you are challenging me that why you have been attending, why I've been attending it for 4 years. What is the result? Ask yourself. Any knowledge must come with the self-discipline. That self-discipline results into a dispassion intellect. Dispassion intellect is also you instantly become aware whenever there is a projection. You contemplate and reflect. In some cases, it may take some time. In other cases, you instantly become aware, and then that problem is gone. Why? To allow the knowledge to stay in the mind. That is why we have been talking about purity of the mind. That is why we are talking. And once you reach to that state, forget about everything. Forget all the principles. Because awakened state of the mind will not allow the impurity to stay. So you have not reached to that state and you say, why should I do it? How should I do it? I should go to the walk, and I have not gone there. Then I was frustrated. Then I went to my office and I became angry over employees. What kind of a seeker you are? So the first is the righteous intellect, and second is the dispassion intellect. Now think, third type of intellect. But I'm creating a scenario that now no attachment is there, no projection is there. Your mind is not ready to blame and complain. It does not have any thought, feeling, and emotions for any complaint. There is no emotional dependence at all. And then you wake up in the morning. Where is that state? You welcome the morning. Minus projection in the impurity. You don't have a sense of emotional dependence. The master says it is your love intellect. You look at the entire world, people, relationship with the right perception because you feel that he or she is like me. So I should move with love and care. So the unconditional love starts from the intellect because the intellect understands it is not attachment. Attachment is conditional love. So you have been highly rational, so be highly rational in a right way. It's good. That intellect says, I have no attachment, plus the detachment, I have no emotional dependence, I don't fall into anxiety in my relationship, including in my professional life. Now I check my intellect. Why the hell I'm living now? I look at my daughter, so what happens to me? So my mind says I have to take care of her. No, she will take care of herself. Immediately remove the projection. But then still I move with affection to my daughter without any conditioning, without any attachment. Love intellect has taken birth. My intellect should understand first. Are you getting it? First, my intellect should understand whether it is conditional love or unconditional. So, intellect will decide. Conditional love has to do with the projection, with attachment, with the strong likes and dislikes, say yes or no. There is none of it. And now I experiment with my intellect and the mind that in my close relations, is my intellect moving in joy with a care and share instead of an attachment? I am entering into the love intellect. Are you getting it? You need not to worry. You will enter into the pure emotional state. But intellect should discern clearly, separate the mixture. Is it attachment? Because of the attachment I am moving, or because of just for the sake of moving? Why? We, I don't want to say that, but I'm using the word use the members of the family as an opportunity to refine and shine your intellect to move into unconditional love. Internally, you are internal. Third type of, this is the third intellect. Now analyze this, uh, what is this righteous intellect? Now mind is very clear to choose what is right and good to do and what is not right and good not to do. So mind is fairly clear, contemplation and reflection is done. It results into a dispassion intellect during everyday working, and then it results into a love intellect. Because of these three types of intellect, we can reach to the real self intellect. That is known as the self inquiry. That is known as the self. Now I know that what is real and unreal. Now I know that what is permanent and impermanent. I can instantly take note of it in the intellect. I have kept my ego aside. Why? How I have kept my ego aside? Because there is no attachment and detachment. There is no projection. I am teaching you because of your reasoning mind, very sharp reasoning mind. So use that reasoning mind. But apply that first, use that reasoning mind for contemplation, reflection, that becomes a discernment, and then apply discussion. live into that state. There was one guy, he said that if I remain in a state of a dispassion, I was extremely scared. I said, you are still dependent on someone. You are still seeking some sense of dependence on your honey. That is why you feel you are scared. You have known, your mind has only known the conditional love, which is attachment. So there is a conditional love attachment deeper inside, and you are saying that you are scared because of this passion. It is not this passion. At any why are we are learning this? Because you can live into that state of awareness, which will help us to separate real from the unreal. Once we understand these four types of intellect, righteous intellect or dharma intellect, vairagya intellect, dispassion intellect, uh, love intellect. So here the love, it is not attachment. So then I further explained you conditional love and unconditional love. Why? Because we are more or less aware of attachment. So I named it as conditional love. Conditional love has lot of expectations from each side. Now see that when we have these four types of intellect, our master says that your intellect and the mind develops a kind of a faith that yes, there is something inside. And you want to stay into that state. You want to stay into the state of that calmness. You want to stay into that state of relaxation. You want to stay into that field of awareness where it is absence of attachment, absence of projection. That is the power of faith. So when the master says, have faith in the teacher, have faith in the mantra, have faith in the teaching, people do not understand because they do not understand these four powers, four types of intellect. But every master has their own way of teaching, and these texts are written in Upanishad one of Asato Ma Satagamaya. So you are contemplating and reflecting today. I will instantly become aware of every movement of the falsehood in my mind. What is that falsehood? Projection, imagination, likes and dislikes, attachment. So, and once you recognize, you drop it, you experience the calmness and the peace, you say, yes, it is working. So, we pass through all the four types of intellect and we reach to that state that power of faith comes. It is not the teacher who has to teach. The intellect says, now I have a power of faith. Krishna says, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. Those who have a faith will enter into the state of awakening. Now, are you clear about the faith, power of faith? Through understanding. It's self inquiry, the real self intellect, self inquiry, faith pending the inquiry. Power of. Now, this power of faith continues in the intellect Your mind undergoes a change, your attitude and behavior undergoes a change, a natural self-discipline comes. I was telling just before your session that I so-called, in America it's a fancy to say that I'm going on vacation. America is copied everywhere. Going on a vacation. But did I leave any session during the vacation? Answer is no. Why should I leave it? When I cannot leave going to the restroom in a vacation, when I cannot leave eating the food, why should I leave this? So I enjoyed this vacation in a totally different way. My mind is still naturally connected to it. Oh, I rescheduled the sessions, but I continue. Doctor was saying that, again, no, I said I'm not working. It's a breath of my life. I'll continue because if I'm teaching, I'm still connected to it. I'm connected to it. Why shouldn't I be connected to it? So even in a hotel, I gave the lesson. I said, no, I want that wife. And I made it in 8 or 9 hours of driving. It should be done after the session on Saturday. Sunday is totally free. And then I will land up in a hotel. And Monday morning I have sessions, so I will complete the session. I was telling my daughter, don't you say that, stop the car, we will use the restroom. Such a crazy action. Why shouldn't I do the good action? Hold on. Don't disturb me for 2 hours. Let me complete my session. What is this? That is extremely important in the life of a seeker. So the first is the power of faith and second is the power of decision. Now I have decided. I was telling, why didn't you decide? You are still undecided for the last 4 years and you are claiming that you get upset when I say that you are not a seeker. Why you get upset? Why don't you recognize it? So the two powers. So when we follow the four types of intellect, when we develop those four types of intellect, we have the two powers, the power of faith, power of decision. That power of decision is in Eastern wisdom is known as sankalpa. It is known as the sankalpa. Sankalpa also English translation is resolve. I resolve to practice meditation without fail every day. In the morning when I wake up, first 5 weeks. After 5 weeks, I have chosen to practice meditation at 5 or 6 a.m., whatever the time is. So I'm imposing a discipline on the crazy mind. It is definitely going to work. Never leave it. So if you have reached to that state, follow this power of sankalpa. Third power. Third power is the pre-meditation practice according to Patanjali. Patanjali says dharana. Dharana means normally people take it as concentration. Concentration, meditation, and samadhi. Dharana, dhyan, and samadhi. So, because of the power of the faith, because of the power of the sankalpa, supported by the four types of intellect, I have the power to hold the mind on the journey on the whether it is a practice, whether it is a mantra, whether it is any discipline. I was saying you enjoyed the vacation. I said yes, I really enjoyed the vacation. But the way I enjoyed the vacation, you cannot imagine. So there is no need to talk about it. There is no need to talk about it. The power to hold on the mind, power to hold on the mind. No, it's a 6 hours of the driving, and after that we will reach there. So I still have a gap of 2-3 hours. Yes, no problem. That is right. The same thing I did when I drove from New Jersey to Arizona. It took me 7 days. And then to succeed, the fourth power we get, the power of Sanyam. Patanjali says Sanyam includes all the premeditation, meditation, and samadhi. So I should have that power first. I have gained that power because I'm a seeker, and now the journey is easy. In that way, my journey is easy. So that is why majority of the people, they start the journey and they fail. So you have to contemplate and reflect on these four types of intellect: the righteous intellect, the dispassion intellect, the love intellect, and the real self intellect. And if you contemplate and reflect, your mind will give the way to the intellect to have a power of faith. To have a power of faith, you have a power of sankalpa, you have a power to hold on to that sankalpa, and then power of sanyam. Meditation becomes a play and a fun. Any meditation will become a, because during the entire day your mind is living into the righteous intellect, dispassion intellect, love intellect. So it will not disturb you in meditation. We cannot practice meditation for 24 hours. No one has done it. Rare people have done it, if they have done it. Arvindo may have done it for 10 hours, but after that he has to go to the restroom. The body cannot stop. He has gone it, freshed himself, and then he started again. That is why we say he continued practicing meditation for 3 days. So without break means that his mind has not gone anywhere else. That is a symbolic gesture. The requirement of the body, maybe after 10 or 20 hours, I cannot sleep 24 hours. My past impression will wake me up. So we have to understand those symbolic writing. Metaphorically, they have written, Buddha sat under a tree and he continued sitting for 13 days. He continued sitting for 13 days. Very. It's a metaphor. Means that his mind did not demand anything from the world, but he performed all his basic necessities. He had the food also, and then he went again into the meditation so that the body should not disturb him. The hunger and thirst should not disturb him. He did it. He did the practice for 6 years to endure, to have an endurance, to have a tapasya of austerity, of thirst and hunger. So obviously, I cannot eat the food for 2 or 3 days, but after that, mind will not allow me. Mind can allow me. But if the mind allows me, then I build a very strong ego. Look at it. I have been hungry for the last 15 days. Yes, you can do that. So when you build your ego, you are already gone. You have left the path. You have done all the practices to drop the ego and you have built your ego. That is why people fail. That is why, majority of the people, I see many visions and colors, and in that vision and color, I will predict, I will forecast about you. Ah, so you have become an astrologer, you are not a seeker. Whatever I have just explained, for a highly rational mind which is looking for a cause and effect, I say it is a 5E engagement. First level, engage the mind. Mind is naturally engaged when I wake up in the morning because of my past impression. My mind says, let me have a cup of coffee. It is not trained and educated. So or you can just learn only the 5E. First is I have to remind myself either by the mantra or these four types of intellect or the four powers of the intellect engage. Let me engage my mind in this journey of the self discovery. So once I engage the mind, I start educating the mind to get rid of the projection and impurities. So once I set my mind on the path of educating the mind, I'm not concerned about my attachment. I'm educating the path. What is the path? Righteous intellect. This passion intellect, real love intellect. By the practice, by understanding and contemplation, so what happens? I start empowering my mind. What is that empowerment? I'm able to maintain that calmness and relaxation. Previously, yesterday, yesterday I reacted to the daughter and I recognized and realized it is happening due to the attachment. Today I have recognized that I will not be in the attachment. I kept aside my ego and I built a relationship again. I said sorry, and then I maintain and I see that I have a calmness and relaxation. Just for one example, that is empowerment. I don't leave any chance. I create an opportunity, whether it pertains to the honey or. And once you start empowering the mind, you are developing all the four types of intellect. You are able to sit in meditation for a longer period. And then what? Fourth E. Fourth is evolution. You are removing the obstacles and introducing the new practices to evolve your mind. What is the evolution? Rise in consciousness. Vertical rise in consciousness. The vertical rise in consciousness. You are just above all the social activities, social relationship, family. Your level of awareness is above. What is that meaning of the above? The same meaning. The righteous intellect, the dispassion intellect, and love intellect, and the real self. You are aware of it. You have that knowledge. You have an experience. No, I'm not going there. And that helps you to rise in consciousness. And the fifth stage is the enlightening. That is another way to look at it. You have looked at the traditional approach. and then I made it. There is another way to look at it. This is another way to understand. So you have to contemplate and reflect. What is the other way? I collected 5S. Previously it was 5E. Huh? Engaging, educating, empowering, evolving, and enlightening. There is another way, 5S. 5S once means sadhaka, sadhana, sadhya, siddha, and sadhu. So that it's very easy to remember. So what is sadhana? Sadhana means practice. We say yoga sadhana, spiritual sadhana, any practice. Even listening and learning, contemplating and reflecting is also a practice. Simple way. Okay, so it means I'm fully aware of this practice, that I'm doing it. I understand each and every aspect of it, and I'm committed to do it, and I'm sincere. So that brings the second S. Second S is the sadhaka. Sadhaka means the seeker. So I check with reference to the practices. Am I committed? Am I doing it regularly? Am I self-disciplined? That is the meaning of the sadhaka. Sadhana, sadhaka. Third is the sadhya. What is sadhya? Sadhya is the goal. What is the goal of all this becoming a seeker and the sadhana? Goal is awakening to the real self. So do I remember this? Have I reminded my mind at least couple of times during the day? No, I was so busy. Busy in what? Busy in projection. We have good projection also. You project in your business by marketing or otherwise that I have a projection this year I will earn $10 million. That projection is good. Do it. But I have to get rid of the negative projection which pertains to, which creates a binding desire. So sadhya, do I remember the sadhya, the goal of my life? Third, S. Fourth S is the siddha. Siddha means the perfection stage. First perfection, I have become a seeker. Seeker is self-discipline, regularly practicing it. And higher level of a seeker, yes, I experience. Now the world is not impacting me in any way. In any possible way. No impact from the world. You will recognize, oh, some higher awareness is working. And then the fifth is known as the sadhu. Sadhu really means, literally means it is a monk. Monk. But if we go deeper, it means this I have become a monk inside, not outside. My attitude, my responses, my behavior, my responses in the world has changed. So once we have these aspects, you need to contemplate, summarize for yourself in your tablet so that you can remember the way you want to remember. If you have any doubt, ask me, be very clear. So once the intellect is clear, we start following the journey. Then the journey of Sadhana Panchkam comes. 40 steps, 5 verses. We'll follow totally in a different way. 40 verses and no, 40 simple, they are simple principles. So the Shankaracharya has, it's a beautiful text. They are 5 verses, 40 steps. It's It includes a horizontal movement of the mind to experience that calmness and the peace. It involves the vertical ascent of the consciousness, the rise in consciousness. It includes bhakti yoga, the love intellect. It includes the Raj yoga. It includes karma yoga. It includes gyan yoga. It includes mantra yoga. Or and also it includes lot of rituals. So he has summarized in such a way, step by step, so that we can reach definitely to that state of awakening. So these 40 steps or 5 verses more, it is for the seeker. Who is a seeker? Who knows it, who understands it, and he says, yes, this is the instruction and I will follow. Mind is clear. Mind is clear. I think I have given you the book of Sadhana Panchkam. I made it different name, but I gave you that book. So what happens? The mind is constantly revolving around the sadhana. Why it is revolving around the sadhana? Because I am a seeker. How come I am a seeker? Only one point, if you remember, because I remember the sadhya, the goal of life. That is why I am just pointing you. That is how you have to think in your mind. 5S, okay. This practice I have to do. How come? Because I'm a seeker. Who is a seeker? Who is looking for the real self, realization of the real self. So, yes, Siddha, it means am I progressing to the next level of my understanding and experience every day after falling? I analyze myself, I reflect on it. Oh, I have changed my behavior and attitude towards my daughter, towards my honey, towards my employees, towards my neighbor, towards myself. Fifth S, sadhu. So when we live that kind of a life, then we simply need an instruction. What instruction, what step you are talking about, I will follow it. I will do it. Yes, I will do it. My mind likes to do that. And if that happens, life will change. That I can bet